Hey guys, what's up? We're still at CES 2023 and we've got the ASUS booth to cover now with all the ASUS monitors. They absolutely did sponsor this video, but I'm telling you right now, there's a few brands that I know and trust, and ASUS is one of them, so I've got no problem with that. As for what we're covering today, and right now, we've got the new ProArt lineup. These things are absolutely stunning. We've done a few other videos on them before, particularly the most recent one was, I think, the PA32 UCG Mini LED, maybe the UCX, can't quite recall. However, what we've got now is the PA32 DCM, and the main thing they've done is go OLED, which is just a dream. Mini LED was fantastic, and it still gets much brighter than this model, but you get haloing and blooming, and OLED just kind of solves that with that impeccable local dimming when it comes to HDR, with every pixel being self-emissive. We've got a 31.5-inch screen. It's still 4K. They have plans to go to a higher resolution in the future, but for now, this is what we've got. They've made the stand significantly smaller. There's a bit less in terms of like pivot and swivel features. However, the majority of you out there, I mean, ASUS polled everyone, and apparently you're all just sitting there right in front of this thing anyway. A lot of you apparently are having two displays, so that when you're showing something off to your client or whatever, or a coworker, you're not just spinning your monitor, you just have a second display. So another thing they've also done that's really cool is they've made this one wall mountable. And the best part is, it's not a VESA mount. It's basically just hung up there on hangers, kind of like a painting, which is just fantastic. It's way easier to do. You don't have to worry about like getting the right mount or anything like that. It should be pretty easy to hang up and you don't worry about it. We've still got a crazy color gamut of 99% of DCI-P3 being reached here. And the best part is, it's actually more color accurate than it was before from the factory. Before it was advertised as a Delta E average of less than 2, now it's advertised as a Delta E average of less than 1. That's insane. Like 2 was already really good. You're not gonna be able to tell the difference, but like 1, you know it's gonna be just perfect no matter what you're doing. For I/O, we've got quite a bit of it. There's Thunderbolt 4, along with several USB-A slots and a USB-C slot that can do 90 watts of power delivery and DisplayPort. Of course, it's obviously not going to get quite as bright as Mini LED does. We are limited to about 700 nits in a 1 or 3% window. However, one really cool thing is they're actually not using a white subpixel on the OLED panel. So while it's not getting as bright, you're not getting washed out or anything. You can guarantee that this color is going to be accurate and just flawless. As you know, the old ProArts are a little expensive. They're definitely a premium product meant for the higher end of colorists and other kind of graphic designers that are working in that space. With the PA32 series, you're usually looking at closer to $3,500. They started closer to $5,000, which is a lot of money. However, a lot of people are really gravitating toward the CRV lines. This thing is actually only about $500, which is absolutely insane value for what you're getting. And you're still getting a really great 16:9 4K experience. They're also incredibly color accurate. They're also covering 99% of the DCI-P3 color space. This one also does a 96 watt power delivery on the USB-C, slightly more than the other one, but not a big difference. And it's also got DisplayPort on that as well. On top of that, the I/O is pretty robust, and not only that, but it's really easy to reach. You just go right in here and you've got 2 ports about here and 2 ports right about there that you can just reach under and plug it in. Fantastic. Don't you hate just fumbling with stuff all the way in the back and you're trying to wrestle with your monitors, you're moving it around and whatnot? It sucks, they fixed it. The stand also does it, you know, you can rotate a bit and there's height adjustment, but similar to the other ones, they've found that most people just sit there directly in front of it and they're not moving it too much. So it might be a deal breaker for some people, but I don't think it's that big of a deal. I never really adjust my monitor that much once I've got it set right where I want it, so I don't think a lot of people do all that much. Correct me if I'm wrong. Another product that we've got here today is their portable display, the MB16QHG right here. And it's got 3 kind of important updates for this model. One of the big ones is that the I/O isn't on the display. It's now on the stand in the back here, which is very useful because you're not going to have like ugly cables sticking out from different spots of your display while you're trying to work on something or show it to a client. The other thing that they've done is this stand is actually adjustable multiple ways. So you can have it like this, or you can have it set down like this where you're just at a kind of a slight angle, and then the other one you can do is you can put it flat, and then you can either hang this up somewhere or just keep it on a flat surface if you feel like, for whatever reason. And then the final update for these guys is that they're actually not only pushing up for a 120 hertz model, but on top of that, besides this little guy here, they're working on a 24-inch model for anyone who wants something that's basically a small desktop monitor that's now portable. Super cool stuff. Next up, we've got their 500 hertz TN panel that can actually boost a bit higher, up to a total of 540 hertz. That is absolutely insane, you guys. They're telling me that they're on their path to 1000 hertz. We'll see when that arrives, but for now, 540 is still blazing fast. Now, of course, to get that fast, they do have to stay at 1080p TN, but honestly, TN has really come a long way in the past few years. It's still not perfect, and you're still not gonna get quite the performance that you'll see in OLED or even IPS, but it's absolutely like usable, and especially if you're an esports gamer and you want that like fast 360 is not enough. You want 500 plus freaking hertz of refresh rate in your display. That's all that's gonna do it for you. This is the guy for you. It's absolutely sleek, very minimal bezel in terms of what you're getting for a smaller 1080p panel. It's got G-Sync, it's got NVIDIA Reflex in there. Pretty much everything you're gonna want if you're gonna try to break into that esports gaming world. It's sick. It's the PG248QP. I gotta read the sign because I can't memorize all these different monitor names in the span of 20 minutes. And you know what? I can't wait to like check it out with an actual game on here, but I'm telling you, it's just crystal clear. It is so crisp.
Oh my God.
For everyone else who's ready to actually finally move on to OLED, they've got the PG27AQDM, and this thing is a beast. We're seeing a lot of 27-inch 1440p 240 hertz OLED displays this year, you guys. And I gotta say, I love ASUS when it comes to monitors. I'm a big fan of their stand design and the rest of it. This is just so thin and the bezels are so minimal. Like when you move this thing, it's actually a little scary how thin it is, but because they've got this really solid like construction around the edge here, it's comfortable. I'm not worried about bending it like I am with some other panel. It's covering a whopping 99% of the DCI P3 color space, so you know it's gonna be great. We're seeing a max brightness of about 1000 nits in a 1% window, which is just crazy bright, especially for OLED. As per usual with OLED, you're seeing that lightning fast pixel response time of, they're measuring 0.03 milliseconds, which is just absolutely insane. On top of that, the HDR experience on a monitor like this with OLED that hits about 1000 nits, it's really hard to beat, you guys. Until we start seeing micro LED come out in the future, I don't know what's gonna beat it, honestly. Like OLED just kind of is king when it comes to that super perfect highlight HDR footage. It feels so smooth, you guys. Like any kind of hitching or anything, that's the game. That's not the monitor, that's the graphics card. There's nothing you can do about that. I love OLED. It took a while for it to come around. I've been waiting for it to really hit the mainstream for like, I don't know, over a decade at this point, honestly. I think we're finally there. It's taken so long and we've had to deal with a lot of things like burn-in and really low brightness levels, but we're finally there. OLED is just, it's perfect. If you can do like 500, 300 FPS, but you've got a 60 hertz panel, what's the point? If you can do 4K or even just 1440p at a higher refresh rate, why game at 1080p at like 60 or even 120 hertz? Treat yourself a little bit. If you've already treated yourself once, just do it twice. You know, get that second treat in there. Once again, ASUS sponsored this video, but everything they showed me here is so freaking cool, and I just can't wait to see it all come out over the next few quarters, over the next year. I'm really excited about all the stuff that I wasn't even able to show you. They showed me a ton of other stuff like peripherals and chairs that we didn't even have time to talk about in this video. But this was ShortCircuit. They've got a ton of new monitors coming out. They're absolutely beautiful. I'm excited to see the OLEDs. I'm excited to see the ProArts. We're probably gonna cover them later in a more thorough LTT video if anyone's interested in watching some more deeper kind of spec analysis of the displays themselves. But for now, thanks for watching, guys. CES 2023, tons of other videos. Make sure to check them out. We'll see you later.